Your app needs to talk to an AI model. Fine, but which one? There are 400 of them now, and they all change every single week. So you pick one, you sign a contract, you wire up the API, then a cheaper model ships, then a smarter model ships, and your whole app is locked to the first one. Because switching means rewriting everything, and nobody has time for that. You could build your own router. Most teams try, and most teams give up. So what do you actually do? That's the exact problem OpenRouter solves. It's a gateway, a routing layer, one API that sits in front of 400 plus models from 80 plus providers. You write code once, and then you switch models with one line. It's the app store for AI models. Some of the biggest names run on it. NVIDIA, Zoom, Lovable, and now Stripe just bought it for roughly $7.5 billion. So let me explain what this thing actually is and why a payments company paid that much for it. Here's the context. AI models are multiplying fast. Every week brings a new model that's cheaper or smarter or both. And every model ships with its own API, its own quirks, its own rate limits. If you want the best model for each task, you need dozens of accounts. You need dozens of integrations. That's a nightmare. So someone built a neutral layer in the middle. OpenRouter launched around 2023. The guy behind it is Alex Atala. You probably know his last company. He co-founded OpenSea. He was the CTO there. And he took that same marketplace playbook and aimed it at AI models. Instead of NFTs, you're browsing models. And the timing matters. This problem only exists because the model market exploded. A few years ago, there were like 5 serious models. Now there are hundreds, and they're all pretty good. So choosing one isn't a technical decision anymore. It's a bet on a moving target. How does it work? Pretty simple. You send one request to one endpoint. OpenRouter decides where it goes. Want the cheapest model? Change a field. Want the fastest one? Change a field. Want the smartest one? Change a field. And it routes the request to the right provider. But the routing isn't the real product. The real product is the marketplace. Every model sits on the shelf with a public price. You see exactly what each million tokens costs. And you can compare them side by side. That transparency is why developers trust it. That's pretty much the whole pitch. And there's more to it. It handles fallbacks for you. If one provider goes down, it retries on another. You get one bill instead of 80. And every model is exposed through one interface. So your code never cares which provider is actually running it. Now the numbers. They're kind of insane. OpenRouter processes 25 trillion tokens a week. That was back in May. 6 months earlier, it was 5 trillion. So it grew 5 times in half a year. It has around 8 million registered developers. And the revenue curve is wild. 1 million a year at the end of 2024, 50 million by early 2026, about 140 million by July. And here's the craziest part. The valuation went from 1.3 billion in May to 7.5 billion in August in under 3 months. That's the speed of this market right now. The funding tells you who believed it early. $113 million Series B in May, backed by A16Z. Menlo Ventures, capital G. 3 months later, that round looks like a bargain. And nobody grows a company that fast by accident. So why does Stripe want it? Because Stripe believes tokens are money. Patrick Collison said it plainly. Tokens are the central currency for companies building with AI. Stripe already launched token billing, and it's been building what it calls economic infrastructure for AI. Last year, it teamed up with OpenAI on agentic commerce. That lets an AI agent check out and pay on its own. OpenRouter is the missing piece. It's where the tokens actually flow, so Stripe buys the layer that routes them. That's the strategy. It's not a random app store bet. It's Stripe moving up the stack to own the meter. But let's be honest about one thing. OpenRouter was not the first gateway. Light LLM already existed. Portkey 2. Cloudflare has an AI gateway. Vercel has one as well, so being first wasn't the win. The win was the neutral marketplace position, one uniform API, and price transparency. That's what developers actually paid for. And there's real criticism too. Providers now ship native OpenAI-compatible APIs, which means some developers don't need a routing layer anymore. And the bigger question is this: can a gateway owned by a payment giant stay neutral? Because OpenRouter's whole value was sitting in the middle, not favoring anyone. That's the debate right now. Stripe just paid around $7.5 billion for a 3-year-old routing layer. It's a bet on one simple idea. Every app is about to become an AI app, and every AI app needs to pay for tokens. OpenRouter owns the layer where developers pick those tokens, and now Stripe owns OpenRouter. The boring plumbing of AI is suddenly worth billions. If you want to follow deals like this as they happen, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.